guys, welcome back to another What's for Dinner. So we are going to get started with one of my favorite meals. It is fried chicken with mashed potatoes and green beans. So I'm just starting out by peeling some potatoes, chopping them and throwing them in a pan with some water and some salt to get those boiling. Usually mashed potatoes take the longest in this meal, so I wanted to get those started first. Next, I'm going to open up a couple cans of green beans and throw those in a pot with a little bit of butter and some salt, and then we will just let those boil while everything else cooks. I have been using the Libby's brand just because the Great Value brand has had a lot of strings with theirs, but unfortunately this batch of green beans had a bunch of strings as well. So I don't know what is going on in the green bean industry, but they got to get it together because you can't eat strings on green beans all the time, right? So anyway, I'm just throwing a little bit of butter, gonna pop a lid on it and let it boil. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get started on our gravy. I just use the packet of gravy. It is so much easier. And I just followed the directions on the back of the package and let that cook. For the chicken patties, I just got the Great Value brand. I don't do anything special with these. I'm just going to throw them in my air fryer at 360 for about 10 minutes. I will check them, flip them, and then pop the temperature up to 400 and put it in for about 5 more minutes. And then they should be perfect. I like them crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside. So now I've got my mashed potatoes here. I love using my hand mixer, and I just threw about half a stick of butter and a little bit of half and half in there. And then you'll see that I'm gonna go ahead and add some sour cream. I think sour cream gives potatoes a really good flavor, and so if I have sour cream on hand, I do like to add that as well. So here's what everything looks like when it all came together. We just served this with some pineapples on the side, and this is seriously one of my favorite meals, and it's super simple and quick. Okay guys, so it is Wednesday, and I'm gonna go ahead and put dinner together. I'm making a white chicken chili, which is kind of inspired by Mandy in the Making. So I've never made white chicken chili before, but I wanted to put my own spin on it. So I've got 2 cups of chicken broth here. I just used the Better Than bouillon. I've got 1 jar of the salsa verde. This is just the Tostino's brand. I figured this would be better than any other brand, so I went ahead and got this. Taste it. Oh yeah, that's really good. Okay. I'm gonna dump that in. I've also got about half a pack of taco seasoning that I did not use in our stuffed peppers the other night. Thank you, Sissy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in as well. And then I'm going to throw in 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning. Thank you. Actually, I'll do like 1.5 because I don't want it to be too salty. And then I'm just gonna whisk this all together, make sure that everything is combined. If you didn't have taco seasoning, I would say throw in some cumin. That looks good. Oh, thank you. And then I've got 3 chicken breasts here. These are still like semi-frozen, but it'll be okay. It'll be done by the time we have to cook tonight. So I'm just going to throw these into the broth. Maybe. There we go. Just gonna make sure they're all kind of submerged. And then, whoa, I've got 2 cans of cannellini kidney beans here that I have drained and rinsed. And I'm just going to throw those on top. And then we're gonna pop a lid on and cook it on low. It is 10:30 right now, so I'll probably cook this until about 5:30, so like 5 hours, and then we'll check it. I have some cream cheese laying out that I'm going to leave on the counter to let it get softened, and then when everything is done, I'll take the chicken out, shred it, and then I'm going to add the cream cheese in, whisk it all together, and then we should be ready to eat. So I'm excited. I've never had white chicken chili before, but I've heard that it is really, really good. So okay, so now that everything is done, this is about 5 hours later. I am just removing the chicken, throwing my very softened cream cheese in there, and I'm just gonna whisk it together, make sure that it's all melted. And then I did just use a fork to shred this. I like to use the fork whenever I'm not trying to get it in such big pieces. So just threw that back in. Here's what it looks like when it was all done. We just served this with some sour cream, cheese, and some tortilla chips. So this next night, I wanted to do something a little bit more elaborate. Sometimes I like to do this for my husband. So here I've got some bacon. I'm just gonna chop that up and cook it in the pan on the stove. We are making a chicken Alfredo, but I'm putting mushrooms and bacon in it as well. Alfredo is definitely not one of my husband's favorites, but it is my favorite. So I do like to make it, and he always gets mad at me whenever I do make it because it is his least favorite, but this night I wanted to incorporate some of things that he likes as well. So I will tell you now, this was a huge hit with him. He actually had, he went back twice, so he had thirds on this meal. So here I've got this new cheese shredder. I saw this on Manny in the Makings channel, and I saw it on Amazon. So I wanted to try it for myself. It had a coupon at that time. I can link it down below for you if you're interested. So I'm just using the fine shredder for this. I have actually never bought fresh Parmesan cheese, so I was kind of struggling just because I didn't really know how to use it. So I'm just cutting it up and trying to shred it the best that I can. So this shredder works amazingly. The only complaint that I have about it is that it does not stick to my counters. And I don't know if it's because of the type of countertops that I have or if there's an actual problem with it sticking. So I've tried it on like my tile countertops, I've tried it on a cutting board, like a plastic cutting board, and I've tried it directly on my butcher block, and it just does not want to stick. So if you guys happen to have a gadget like this and you have any tricks of making it stick, please let me know, because I love this thing and I want to continue to use it. The block cheese is just so much better. So anyway, if you have any tips, please let me know. Otherwise, I will link this down below for you. I also wanted to take the opportunity really quick to apologize for kind of going MIA for the last week or so. Normally I do post every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I was sick that one week, and then that same weekend our laundry room had a major leak in it, so we had to rip up everything, which you'll see in an upcoming vlog, but I just didn't have any videos available. I wasn't able to film, and I wasn't feeling up to filming. So that's kind of what happened. I kind of went MIA, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so I did feel like I needed to explain myself. And I'm not real active on like my Instagram or anything. It's just kind of not my favorite social media platform. But anyway, just wanted to let you guys know what actually was going on. So now I'm going to remove the cooked bacon and just put it on a paper towel to let it drain, and then we will add our mushrooms and make sure those are cooked through. Along with the Alfredo, I had some chicken that I marinated in lemon pepper dressing. This is just the Great Value lemon pepper marinade. It's like 98 cents at Walmart. So I just put some chicken in there and let it marinate, and then I'm going to throw it in my air fryer. I've made chicken in the air fryer a million times, so if you want to know all the measurements and stuff, you can check out my other What's for Dinner videos. But back to the mushrooms. These are pretty well done. We like them when they get to about this color. I also threw some green onions in there just because I had them in my fridge, but completely not necessary. I'm just going to remove them from the pan with the bacon. Okay, so moving on to my favorite part of this meal, the Alfredo sauce. I have made Alfredo a million times on my channel, but basically it is just some butter, some garlic, and you just let that kind of get fragrant. You let the butter melt, and then throw the garlic in, let it get fragrant, and then you'll throw in your heavy cream. Sometimes I use heavy cream, sometimes I use half and half. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. This time I did decide to use heavy cream. You're just going to bring that up to a boil, and then you can throw in your Parmesan cheese. I am using the freshly grated, and I did end up using the entire block of Parmesan cheese, and it gave it a really good flavor. So I definitely recommend trying this Alfredo recipe. It is super easy, and especially with all that grease from the mushrooms and the bacon, it gave it such a good flavor. So I highly recommend putting bacon in your Alfredo if you're able to do that. And I like putting parsley in there as well, just to give it a little bit of color, and some freshly cracked black pepper. Okay, so here's what everything looks like when it all was done. Here's that chicken, the mushrooms, the bacon. We serve this with a breadstick. So this next night, I am just making some old-fashioned sloppy joes using manwich. I just got a little bit of ground beef here. I added some water in to make it a little bit more easy to break apart. My grandma actually taught me that. And I just seasoned it with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. And then I've got some water here that I am boiling for the mac and cheese. And then I have a bag of corn that I am just steaming up in the microwave. This dinner was super easy. It was quick. I love incorporating quick and easy recipes in the middle of the week. So here is your cue to make some sloppy joes, because it is just too easy. Also, I'm draining my ground beef in a bowl with some aluminum foil. One of you guys actually taught me this, and I use it pretty much every time now, so thank you for that. And then I'm going to throw the ground beef back into my electric skillet. You guys know that I love my electric skillet. I mainly use it to chop up ground beef just because it's bigger, and I don't know, I just like using it for ground beef. And I'm going to throw in my can of manwich and just let that simmer until everything else is done. So here I've got that bag of corn. I love using the whole kernel corn from Walmart. I'm just chopping up a couple tabs of butter and throw that in the bottom so it can melt in with the corn, and letting the corn sit on top. I'm just going to season with a little bit of salt and pepper, and this will be good to go. My kids absolutely love this corn. We are not really fans of sweet corn, so we love this whole kernel corn. And if you like corn, I highly recommend trying the ones in the bag. I just think it's so much better. And also with this, I decided to serve it with some mandarin oranges. I've been trying to incorporate fruits and vegetables in every single meal that we have, even if it's out of a can. It's still a fruit, it's still a vegetable, so no shame in that game. Also, I'm finishing up the mac and cheese, so I'm just following the directions on the box. Super simple. I feel like everyone knows how to make mac and cheese. So I'm just putting that together, and then we will serve this up. That's going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.